So we are live and direct from the Pan-African Daily TV, ladies and gentlemen. Are you ready? Are you ready today for this conversation? Are you ready? Because we are ready. Because Dr. Tony Jaja, I mean, the celebrity of the Pan-African Daily TV, is ready, and he is not coming alone today. Like I said, it's a double pack. It's a double pack because we have Comrade Myla Jr. I call him Comrade, the president and leader of the Marcus Garvey organization tonight with us. And we're going to be sharing incredible information. We're going to be educating ourselves on the Marcus Garvey concept and dream and vision of Pan-Africanism for Africa. So I hope you guys are set because there's going to be a lot of talking, but there's also going to be a lot of questions on your part. So get ready to learn who we are, where we're going to, what is the vision that our founding fathers left behind that you can see they're manifesting now and they are visible today. So ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you to this special edition, of the Pan-African Daily TV, where our topic of today is Africa for Africans at home and abroad. Africa for Africans at home and abroad. So there's not going to be anybody anytime soon putting his foot on our neck. Yes, at home. Home is where we call our own. Nobody's going to share that space with us again. Yes. So ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome you on the show of today. And thank you for joining in. Let me know where you're signing in from. I can already see your you're joining in your numbers, as I know. And Madiba is already here watching from Ghana. Yep, and Zazu Robert is already here. People who are already PK Kasirim, the manager of the Pan-African Daily TV on the continent, is saying we are set, we are here, we are ready. And yes, Raymond, I can see you. And Emmanuel, I see you. Ndiritu from Kenya, I see you. And all of you from the continent and in the diaspora, as you join in, please, you know what to do. Share the link, share and invite one another, because the Pan-African Daily TV is our place. From us to us, we share our conversations, we talk about us, we look for solutions to our challenges, and our voices are for us. We said it and we've been saying it all the time. We're tired of building other nations. We're damn tired. We're tired of informing the world about us African people. We're tired of even our history, telling them and educating them that we're humans. We're tired. Now it's time to focus on us. It's all about us now. Now we have to heal ourselves. We have to tell our stories to our own selves. Because what we realize is that most of the time we've been educating the world, but we forgot to be educating our own selves. And now our children are learning us history through other medium, through other sources. A lot of them are saying our history started with slave trade. Ambassador Jaja is here. He's going to break that down, and you're going to know. You know it can never be true. We know that fine. And yes, I see Mark Ryler watching from Hollywood. From Hollywood. Wow. From Hollywood. Yeah, guys, you guys are on board. You are on board. You're on board. Yes, happy to see you here today, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to hit and start because we have a long way to go. We want to digest everything that Comrade Myla Jr. is going to tell us, what we need to know, what we've been reading in books, but we want to hear it from the horse's mouth. And like I said, yes, Mora is watching from Botswana. That's fine. We're happy to have you here from Botswana. And we have Quiet Jing watching from Australia. From Australia, yes, for the first time, I think, not the first time. Alexi from the Caribbean, yes, we see you all here. And yes, we're going to go straight to welcoming our guest for today. Hello, Comrade Cleo Myla Jr. Hello.
Well, hello. How are you doing today? It's good to be on the program today. I'm excited about the possibilities of talking to a lot of Garveyites out there, because a lot of people think that the Marcus Garvey movement has this is not working or is not active today, but it is. We're still in existence. We're doing a lot of great things, and we're looking forward to bringing more people back onto the program with that the Honorable Marcus Garvey presented years ago.
Excellent. That's what we are looking to. We can't start from another agenda, as a matter of fact, because these things are already existing. The declarations are there, the philosophy is there, the vision is there, but somehow it was distorted and disconnected. And why should we build these new things when we have them existing, isn't it? Now, I will come back to you for you to elaborate on what actually Marcus Garvey is doing on the planet now, because we're saying this is the era where we're going back to ancestors and we're connecting. And like I said today, you are watching Marcus Garvey live and talking to the great visionary of the past in a reincarnated form. Yes, I'll come back to you, comrade, and let me greet the star of the Pan-African Daily TV, Ambassador Tony Jaja. What is happening on the continent, Ambassador?
Yeah, I think there is a lot of things happening today, Susan, and I just want to greet all the audience all over the world who are watching us and who are giving their time to listen to what we are going to share together. Just for 3 days ago, the government of Burkina Faso has urged the UN to have the urgent debate with the Human Rights Council, and these things was done today for what has happened to our community and our late George Floyd, and the way he died by asking the police that I can't breathe, give me life, let me breathe. But today the debate was so hot and condemning what has happened to our humankind and our brother who have died in America. And these things has brought the government of US as a government who has evaluated the human right and has abused the human right, as the one government who has signed and did the declaration in 1948, Declaration of the Human Race are born equal and they have to be treated the same way. So today I was really following up the live TV in Geneva when every ambassador was talking and each one was condemning what was happening to the, not only for the Black American, but for all the Black community all over the world. Those in New Zealand and Australia and in Canada, indigenous, even in other places in Caribbean. And this is the good thing that I have seen the African Union and the African countries who has come together and condemning this kind of the racist that is still going even in 21st century, and that is the good part of it, the good part of it. The other things that I think there's a competition of two countries, Djibouti and Kenya, as to be a non-permanent member for the Security Council from 2020-2022. And this is one of the things that Kenya President Uhuru today has spoke his mind and what capability that Kenya can do to represent the continent as a non-permanent members in the Security Council. So he's urging many people from the African countries, because the endorsement came from the African Union members. So the Kenya to take the seat from 2021 to 2022. And still, I'm not satisfied, because it now has been 75 years and African are looking and has been echoing that we need a permanent seat, not just to be non-permanent seat. And I think these things in 2022, African Union has to have a permanent seat, and this is what we have to fight for, and this is what we have to push for, because when you don't have somebody to veto for you, you will lose a lot. And we know how Security Council is doing a lot of things against the African countries, giving sanctions on the leaders, giving economic sanction, giving a lot of things, pressure on the continent. While the continent is not progressing, it's because 75 years he has not been representing us as a permanent seat in the Security Council. So this is one of the things I have urged the African Union in 2018, talking to the chairperson of the African Union, Mustafa and other president, concerning these things. That because I asked a question many times, they said the 2005 they have applied for that one, and they told them that until 2023. So in 75 years, they're still telling them, and 2023 you will get a seat, and we don't know what is going to happen after this pandemic, because everything is going to change, and this is what is going to bring a new bilateral for the continent, and we are working very hard for that, to push it and to see how the African continent to be represented as a member and a permanent seat in the Security Council. So this is what we have now.
That's incredible, even though unsatisfactory, because these are promises that have always been said. I mean, one can begin to argue or ask why, when it comes to Africa in the Security Council, they're always going to give an agenda and shift it in 20 days. Why not with immediate effect? Anyway, that's the agenda that we know now, what we need to do, what are the steps to do, what kind of action plan we need to push this agenda forward, because it's going to be another promise until the next president is out and comes in with another kind of, lies as usual. So let me get back to our guest of honor today, Comrade Myla. What has changed actually from the vision of Marcus Garvey's for the Black people, particularly, the Black people out there? What has changed? All what he fought and died for, and we have never listened to it. Africans are still sticked on the planet or where they are, and what has happened and what should happen? Over to you, Comrade.
Yes. Well, very little has actually changed in terms of what the Honorable Marcus Garvey and the Universal Negro Improvement Association talked about to improve us as a people. The thing that
I'm sure you need to increase your volume. I'm sure you will really need to increase your volume, Comrade. You're a little bit, okay. Yes, just try and see if you can increase your volume a little bit.
Let's see here. Where's my volume at on this? Because I'm hold on. Let's
you will have to speak it just a little bit louder.
and speak a little bit louder there. Can you hear me now?
Yes, that's fine.
Is that better?
Can you hear him out there? Yes. Go ahead.
Okay. There's not a lot. When you look at the Constitution bylaws that was created over 100 years ago, it is just as prevalent today as it was back then. A lot of the ideas and thoughts that we as a people or our ancestors thought we're using today. The thing that we have that's different at the time when Marcus Garvey came along, he looked for the ambassadors, the people of stature, people in Congress, the presidents or the governors, and those are people that were not in place, but they're in place now. And so we have to catch up today and with the things that are going on, and get our people established and understanding and know that the things that the UNIA fought for, we need to be able to fight for today. Because what we've done is I use the expression, we've gone to sleep. We're just like bears. We're hibernating, and the world is passing us by while we sleep, and we don't stand up for the rights that our forefathers fought for us. So today, we're looking at the process of people coming in, understanding and knowing what the organization is about, what we need to move forward and do, and to actually get us back to the continent of Africa. Because when you look at us as a race of people here in America, we're the only race of people that don't have a government that this government has to answer to. All other races of people, they have a government. If this government does something wrong to them, then they had to report to and they had to explain why they did those things. So we have been our own worst enemy. We live, eat, drink, and think everybody else's ways in life and culture except for our own. So we need to start educating our youth. That's where to start, because they're our future. If we educate them, teach them, and let them know the beauty of them, that they were kings and queens and princesses, And we were the ones that created the things that every other people, a race of people have come and copied and taken away from us. So we have to instill that pride and dignity inside our youth because they are our future. And by doing that, now we can command and control and deal with some of the issues that we're dealing with today, like the brutality, the discrimination, injustices that are being happening to us today. And the only way we're going to do that is to actually come back to our motherland and establish the government there, work in conjunction with them. And Honorable Marcus Garvey said over 400 years, well, actually, he said a year over 100 years ago about the Back to Africa movement. People laughed at him when he talked about that. But it is just as prevalent, it's more prevalent today because after 400 years of slavery, now people are beginning to understand and know what we went through, what we had to endure, all the injustices that we need to come together as a people, work together, go back to our homeland and establish something, help them create and build. Because we need each other. All long lost cousins here or there, abroad and at home, we need to start working together. It's not to go back to Africa and tell people that we're coming to take over like all other racial people have done, but work hand in hand, side by side with them. The things that they don't understand and we understand, we need to share it. Africa is one of the richest continents. It is the richest place. And they have the riches and we have the knowledge. If we put both of those together, work side by side, hand in hand in educating our people, we're unstoppable, we're unremovable, and we can do the things that we need to do to enhance us as a race of people.
Yeah, correct. It's obvious that every African now is not ignorant of the fact that we know that this is the most valuable and the richest continent on the planet. Every African, even from a baby now, knows that. But the reality is that we are not united, or we are
Right.
united, but we just not act like we are.
We need
And one of the visions of Marcus Garvey was that that continent belongs to us. It means, like you say, we need to connect. Is there some program on the foundation or the organization that you actually putting out there, to connect?
well, actually, when you talk about the year return, when they kicked that off this year in Ghana, we're actually a part of that. As a matter of fact, the one of the gentlemen that's working this over the project that are working with the Kings, he's the third assistant president general of the UNIAACL. So they're giving away land. So we are actively involved in helping people go back to repatriate to Africa and Ghana. But not only that, we're also part of an organization called the Exodus Alliance. And
Mm-hmm.
what we're trying to do is trying to get people to go to 4 other African countries other than Ghana, which is Senegal, Gambia, Jamaica, well, no, Nigeria, as well as Ghana, and get them to go back and got programs. So we're trying to get monies and stuff to actually put monies into their pockets. And then we don't want to just send them back there. We want to have them to be able to be sustainable. So we're putting programs and different things of that nature in line to educate and teach them so they can go in and understand the language, understand what it is and what they need to do in order to be successful in the African continent. And so we're doing those things. Then we're also working with other African villages as well, and we're in project in Kenya. We're working with them to try to set up new chapters in the business, and they deal with some of the local issues and stuff that they have. Because I was appalled to know that a lot of people in Kenya, the elderly people have to go 30 and 40 miles just to get water to come back home, and use. So we're looking at the ways of trying to get involved with them to secure those things. Not only that, we're also looking at starting schools to educate, technology schools, training schools, and to find out the resources and stuff that are the programs that need to be put there and then find the people here who have the knowledge and technology and the wherewithal to make it happen. So there's a lot of things we're working on, not only in Africa, but in South and Central America as well.
Okay, how long has this been going on, comrade? I mean, it sounds like something that is just coming new, and this is an organization or vision that has been for 400 years and even accounting. Have they been some actions, like you're saying, educating the Black community out there that one can like, okay, I want to go and read about the history or be current? Has there been some action going on, or is something that is still going to start?
Well, let me say it this way. Like any other organization, we've had our ups and downs, and there have been splits within the organization, and a lot of people have slowed the process down. So we're in the process of rebuilding and restructuring, because there are still people out there calling themselves the UNIA and robbing and cheating and stealing, and you have to be point blank with what they're doing. So we're trying to overcome those situations, and we're restructuring, we're reorganizing, getting new people in, and looking at young people as well, and looking at what are the type programs we need to be involved in that we can actually contribute and to our people, helping them get in a position where they can actually help the African countries and stuff. So these are relatively new programs that we've been doing within the last 5 to 10 years that we're working on. And then some of them from the repatriation component, we just got those started last year. So we have a long ways to go. And I won't say that all these things are actually happening, because there have been a lot of fighting and bickering among the organization, that we have to cut that out, because that's one of our biggest problems as the people not coming together and trying to hold people down. So we're working to move forward and bring young, good quality people in who have the technology and the knowledge, and they're excited about the possibility of going in and putting this organization back to where it needs to be. When you look at us as an organization, a lot of organizations have come in and taken bits and pieces from this organization, because this was the mother organization. They use the name of the UNIA, and in terms of saying, well, we want to do this program or do that program, but it's a UNIA's program, and they put their label, and they want us to work in conjunction with them to make it happen. So we don't have a problem with that, but we need to step up and to step forward and to take on the tradition of what the Honorable Marcus Garvey was and the program that he created, and then educate and become consultants to the other people and showing them how to do it. So we have a long ways to go, a lot of work to do, and we're looking for good qualified people to come in and help us do those things.
Correct. At least coming back and reawakening is already a good start. Do you see a possibility? Because, like, I mean, I think sometimes we're just slow in a couple of things, and now is the time for renaissance, and we've kind of let our forefathers down somehow, because like we should have been having a Marcus Garvey museum, isn't it?
We should have. Well, the thing that you have to understand, and it happened when Marcus Garvey was living, that when they deported him from the United States, then as I said, there were splits within the organization, and there are different facets, and all of them not connected to one central body. So we're in the process of now bringing all those components and those pieces of stuff back together, so we can have an international convention like they had back in 1920, to bring the people together and talk about all the ideas and thoughts and what we need to do in order to build upon what was built on before. But as long as we have people out there that are fighting against the system and using the organization for their own personal gains and glory, and forgetting about the people, then we're going to have those issues. But we're working through those issues on a daily basis, and we do have those people who really want to do and really want to make the organization as great as it was before. And we're going back also and looking at the older chapters, the older divisions, the Liberty Halls, and programs that they have that our chapters have, and connecting them back to the parent body structure so we can move forward. And until we do that, we're going to have those issues and problems. But this is a great time, as you said, with all the things that are going on, to actually get it back out there so people do know and understand that we are viable and that we want you. We want you to come back in, because together, if we work together, we can create and we can do all the things that need to be done. As long as we're divided, we're going to never get where we need to be.
Correct. And I'm looking forward for a very quick action plan, because I think we don't have time before we are going to put all these things. Like, for instance, our organization in Germany, representing all these other structures, is called the Africa We Want. The Africa We Want is independent, sustainable, non-profit, not-for-profit, for the interests of Africans in Africa, in the diaspora, and connecting these projects in Europe and Africa. And now, what I mean, we are pragmatic and going straight to the point. When you start talking like this, I already have the impression that we need the Marcus Garvey Foundation in Germany and spreading the word in Europe and across, just like we're doing with the PLO Lumumba Foundation, and also probably our ADDI of Dr. Arikana. Why am I saying so? Because I think we need to start teaching, like you're saying. In the course of doing those things, we need to start informing. And because we have a paradigm that we need to follow, the teachings of our forefathers, to create this kind of supermodels of the past on which we can build on. And I'm looking forward. If you want to get the organization here in Europe, you know the place to go, you know the contact.
Right.
And yes, we need a very powerful structure, and that's why I'm offering this platform to all other organizations out there that are focused on the Pan-Africanism and the Africa we want, to register your organizations, because we're going to have an African house stated in Europe. Why? Because this is the central point where we need to start gathering not only the people in the diaspora out there, but also those in Europe, and there are huge amount of them. We need to start teaching us back and not just get lost in other systems. And we're looking forward for a powerhouse that is going to be a house of history, an Africa house of literature of our ancestors, where children and Black people can visit and listen. We're going to be teaching about Pan-Africanism. We're going to be teaching about everything. We're going to be teaching about building Africa and relocating. So I look forward to getting this organization, just like the other organizations here. Now, I want to go back to Ambassador Jaja. Ambassador Jaja, you've heard Comrade Myla struggling, I can say struggling, to pick back the pieces of history, of a founded history on which today we all suffer, because we kind of like smashed that history away. We forgot Marcus Garvey so soon. And most of us go about reading some other theories about Pan-Africanism, but forgetting even that the father of Pan-Africanism, before any other literature was brought in surface, was Marcus Garvey. Now, we're talking about the United African Union and the government on the continent. Has there ever been any agenda that you see or that could be instituted to help our brothers that want to relocate, or to stampede Pan-Africanism as the new religion for Africa in this 21st century?
Yeah, I think, Susan, I have said something some days ago in one of your show.
Yeah.
That the time is now for Africa to unite. And Marcus Garvey said something in one of his newspaper, which is called a Negro World, or Negro newspaper.
Negro World.
And he said that, yeah, Negro World. He said, Black men all over the world should prepare to protect themselves. So this is what he said before even the foundation of the Organization of African Unity. In 1990, somebody who has a vision, a wider vision for all over the world, and the members who used to follow him were millions of people supporting his organization, his movement. And he tried in that time that to bring African back, not just African American, just African in Jamaica and everywhere. He was so successful in his program, his business, as I've read his book, and a lot of things that he has done since he was 19 years, 23 years, until he came, he, he established what is called a Star Alliance, Alliance, something like this, having chief going to Jamaica, to Cuba, and all these places.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the vision that we should follow, because now we are seeing the continent for the first time to be positive for the African diaspora, even for one person that has been killed by the police in America, and urging the Human Rights Council to debate that any black person everywhere in this world should be treated in the right way, should be treated equal. That is the beginning, that the continent now is rising. The government of the continent is rising. The union, which is the African Union, is standing with his people. And I believe this thing is going to make things easy to work, because the year of return 2019 was declared for people to come back. This is the year of return. Now, some leaders in America now, African American, are asking about 14 trillion, about the reparation only. 14 trillion. And one of the majority leader of one of the party in America is called Mr. Mitch McClellan, said we have paid the sin of the slavery by electing Obama. Just imagine these organs of this Western world. Somebody is saying, no, because we have brought Obama to be a president for America, we have paid the sin of the slavery. This is kind of nonsense. With the empty head, somebody like this saying, and I think this is all what they have as a white supremacy in their mind, that African American has been treated that way, and we have paid their sin by bringing Obama as a president in the White House. Obama, when he was a president of the White House, he was not a president of America. He was a CEO of the White House, not as a decision maker. So people has to understand these things. Africa is ready to receive its people. And I know Gerald Miller Jr., and as you have organized yourself as Exodus Alliance. I love that kind of organization that you have brought together, the 6 organization, and you need other, because there is other organization are working around there to work together in one's hands, so that we can come and build Africa back. This is what we want to see, the African diaspora to be part. The African Union has recognized the African diaspora wherever they are, in Caribbean, in South Pacific, in Australia, in New Zealand, in Canada, wherever the indigenous who are part of the African community, Black American, the African American in America, they are called Region 6, which is Eco 6. And this is part of his economic community, to be part of the economic community. And I know African American has been struggling for 400 years until today. They have never tested the right, or testing what is called equality in the nation of America, which is superpower nation now. They have worked for 250 years, free labor, working for them, free, no pay. And again, they want to take this our community to another years and hundred of years to wait for them to be delivered or to be liberated. No, this is the time for Africa. As we said last time, Africa, the motherland, is calling back its children.
Mm-hmm.
I know there will be some people who will refuse to come back to Africa. But when you come back to Africa continent, and there is some many African communities who has come back to Africa for the first time, who have never heard somebody calling them Negro. Because in Africa, we don't call ourselves Negro. You feel yourself home. Because this is where you are so connected. This is where your ancestors. And Africa did not just start in 400 years ago or in 16th century. We have been existing here for millions of years.
Mm-hmm.
We have been existing for thousands of years. And we are the owner of the earth. Nobody else can come and say they are the owner of the earth. Because we can debate the history, we can trace our history back, and they will find the only people who inhabit this planet were Black people, and it's still today. And we are the seed. On this earth, we are the seed. That is why they will try whatever evil plan they have, whether they kill people, destroying people with weapons, or bringing diseases, but African people will survive wherever they are. And this is what people has to understand. We are in the continent welcoming our brothers back wherever they will feel to be part of the continent.
Correct.
Yes, as General Miller has said it, yes, they have technology. They have it, really. Everything that has been invented in this world, it was invented by the African community. Whether a business, it was learned from them. If in Sudan, the kingdom of Kush, in the 250 kilometers away from the capital of Khartoum, the kingdom of Kush were the first people to have the industrial business of the iron and bronze at that time. That was thousands of years ago. 5,000 years ago, we talk about something about 5,000 years ago. We don't talk about this, where this Caucasian came from or where this the Western world came from. But we are so proud because we are the owner of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
They have to see the power of the Black community back again. And this is what Marco Garris has shown to the African American, and to African in the diaspora, in Jamaica and other places, even in Panama. This is how Marco Garris has shown one man can change the history. One man can change the society. One man can do it. He was teaching them. Now they have believed him after years that Marco Garvis was right. Until today, they have not seen anything. Result from that 100 years, they have not seen after the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr., they have not seen the change, the right of civility, and still now people are talking not only about the police rules and this justice to be imposed on them. Now the voice of the Black community, wherever they are talking about, because the liberation of the Black community in America is the liberation of the Black community in Africa. Because we are going to stand as one voice. We are going to say no to people to come and loot our resources. We are going to say no, it's not only just about killing few or three people, because the Western world has been beneficiary number one from Africa. But now we are turning the table. Africa has to solve its own solution, has to solve its own problems. Africa's solution has to come from Africa. Correct. The African resources has to be tested by the African people. African minerals has to be tested by the African people. The time has come and the time is now. We are not going to keep quiet. We are not going to say, only we are just crying or we are standing for the justice only because brother George Floyd has been killed in the brutal light when that policeman put his knee on his neck. That neck of George Floyd is not about just only his neck. It's the neck of the African continent too. Because this Western world has put their knee on the resources. This is the neck. They have put their knee on the politics. This is the neck. They have created what is called dogma, which is the politics, which is the religious. They have imported a wrong religious to us, which is now is destroying us because we have been just being there for the wrong religious. And this is what we have to change. Africa is rising and nobody is going to change it. Nobody is going to reverse it. Nobody is going to object it because we are now talking and our leaders are talking. We are pushing them to speak out. Some of them will be coward. Some of them will not talk. Some of them will fear, but we are not going to fear because this generation is a 21st generation people. This is the generation of smart people. This is a generation of intellectuals. This is a generation that has read the history and bring it back to make the future. And we are for it. African continent is ready to receive as it is planned by the Exodus Alliance in 24 months that the repatriation will happen and is going to happen. As some people have identified themselves with Senegal, with Gambia, with Liberia, with Cote d'Ivoire, some of them in Kenya. And this is the good news. Everything is start 1 and 2, 3 nations, and the rest will follow. This is how the African Union is started with 13 nations. And then after that, 33 nations. Then after that, the rest came after that. And we are believing in the Exodus and the Pan-Africans organization who are debating and who are working very hard to see things change. We don't just want to talk about United Africa, which is not going to work. It's not just about the song. It's not about the slogan. This is about the reality time. Because the only things that will make us too strong and to fight for ourselves and to stand for our own right is to unite ourselves with the diaspora and in the continent here.
Correct. Yes.
Correct.
Yes. Over to you, Comrade Myla.
Yes, Dr. Tony, he's telling the truth, you know, in terms, and he's speaking the truth to power. And the thing that we have to understand and know is the Honorable Marcus Garvey said many years ago, we need people of standard, people who have high standard, people of integrity and honesty, in order for us to be able to move forward. And we have to be able to hold our leaders accountable who are in positions to make those decisions. And if those leaders are not making those decisions, they're being bought out or bribed or whatever, we need to be put in a position where we can take those people out of the fold. Because when you look at us as a people, we've been our own worst enemies. We have been the one that holds us back. So we need to be able to bring all of our people together, regardless of what name you call, whether it's Negro, whether it's Black, whether it's African, whatever. We're all of the same race. We're all of the same people. So we need to come together from that standpoint and realize whatever little differences and stuff that we have, we need to put it to the side. The time is now to work in the bill. As I said before, we've aligned ourselves with the Exodus Alliance. We're aligning ourselves with another organization called the Utopian Umbrella. We're also a part of the African Digital Divine Program. And each one of these components, along with the UNIA, has a plan. And that we're going to come together and we're going to introduce it to the world in terms of what we can do to actually help our motherland, Africa, to do what needs to be done. We're also looking with the UNIA in terms of setting up technology centers, and one in Belize, one in Ghana, one in Liberia, And then and the other thing too, when we talk about the Exodus Alliance and repatriation, is that we're starting there, and the UNIA is not going to stop there. We're going to be reaching out to all the other African countries that need that help, and we can only do it if we come together as a people and different organizations. No one organization can do it by itself. So we have to be able to focus ourselves, extend that olive branch out to the different organizations, whether they're taking your program or not, or they have some of the ideals that you have, like minds breed success. And if we can
Correct.
get enough people to do that, which I know we have them, we can do what needs to be done in order to create our own empire as the United African States or the United States of Africa, whichever way we want to call it. But we need to all come together from that standpoint, and that's what we're actually working on. We're going to work on at home and abroad, the 6 regions and the other 5 regions of diaspora regions of Africa as well. So when we do those things, put those programs and stuff together, and stop letting everybody else teach us their own ways of life and culture except for our own. We need to be able to understand and know and speak the same languages and stuff too, because the math and the science, those are common things. But when you start talking about the history, the speaking the language and technology and doing those things and giving it to our young people. I mean, the technology today, young people can pick up a computer or their minds are just so sharp. They pick up so many different things, have so many different ideas. So when you breed the old and the young together and you put those programs and stuff in place, we're unstoppable. And that's what we have to be able to look at and understand and know as we move forward. It's not about I, and it's not about me. It's about us coming
Correct.
together and making sure that we put the plan together, work with the organization to make things happen.
Excellent. There can be no way forward without us bridging or connecting the old to the young. That's our way of life. That has always been our history. If not, some other thing is going to be missing. And we are seeing that that missing link is there. The young people are lost. They've been educated by foreign systems, and the elderly people that have the history, that have everything that they need to pass it on to the generation, is stuck somehow. So these are the difficulties that we are experiencing. And now, but like you all are saying, it is time, and the time is now. And of course, it is time not even because we're saying it. It is time because we are happening. We're happening. We're making it happen. I would like to get a little bit of information about the Exodus Alliance. What are the objectives? What are they doing? How can we connect that also to other parts of, are they connected over Europe? Samaila?
No, we haven't gotten that far yet. We're just in phase 1. We're
Okay.
just in phase 1 with the Exodus Alliance. And what it is what we're trying to do is we're trying to be able to bring people together who want to come back to Africa from a business component, and that's to create a business there. And so we're trying to raise monies to help them be able to get back there and to start their business. We're talking about trying to put $40,000 in their hands, and then also at least pay about, we'd like to pay at least about 11 months of their rents, and then also put them in a program, as I said earlier, to make them sustainable in terms of them being able to understand and know how to adapt, how to mix, how to be involved in the things, that keeps you successful as a business person, and not just throw you out there and get you involved. So we're looking at that, creating hotels and stuff, or business communities and stuff. And, that's part of the things that we're looking at, with the Exodus Alliance, because a lot of people are going to want to come there themselves and buy land. But those who can't come there by themselves, we want to help them be able to do that and to be successful people in the African communities. We're looking for people who have business ideals and have a plan in terms of what they want to do there and on the African continent to actually help the growth of the organization as well. So we have a lot of plans we're working on right now, and hopefully as we move on to the next stages and stuff, then we'll be able to implement those programs.
This is excellent. I mean, I can't even think. Ambassador Jaja has been soliciting for the Exodus Alliance, just and has been raising the voice out here about the Exodus Alliance. And we have also had some of your partners on the a partner that you had, I think, with Awoya and their own repatriation program, which is also a member of the Exodus Alliance. And we are seeing, and even the diaspora start asking, I mean, these programs, we need to get in touch with them. We need to be able to connect. And I'm really happy, and we are appreciating. And that's why it's always so a wonderful experience for you to come educate the audience, mentor to us, because Africans have the idea like nothing is going forward, nothing is happening in the background. We're just sleeping. African Americans have been mistreated, but like nothing is happening. And what we on the Pan-African Daily TV is doing is bring these role models, these projects that you are putting out there in the background, throw it out to the continent and the audience, and people can support, people can shop this project and say, yes, this is what we want. This is how we are going to assist, not only for people in the diaspora, even the continent has to be aware of the Exodus Alliance and how they can support, bring their brothers back home. So much so that the program behind, we also talked about it last time, how is it going to look like, the reintegration program and stuff like that. I think these are other issues and concerns that we want to have you again next time on the program. Each step you move forward, where are we now? What is been going on? How are we evolving? What is the next step to do? I think these are the current issues that the diaspora or African people need to keep focused on. And that's why there is no other way I can say it more of the time, that we're defining the new role of the Pan-African media, talking our own things that are relevant, because Africans have given up. It's obvious about Africa, because no one has been talking like this. No one has been giving the way forward. No one has been motivating the young people and say, you know what, you are worthy and you deserve to be that on your own continent. So we are very grateful for every support that you're putting out there, every engagement. And our goal is to support you with all the efforts that we have, because we don't lack the resources. We don't lack the means of supporting one another. That's how we've been brought. That's how we've been taught. That's how our forefathers ever lived. And I don't even think it's even a part of money or finance, but the main core thing is information and contacts and networking. I think that's what we need. The problem is not the money, because the monies are there. The diasporans are keeping their money. They don't know what to do with it. And most of them don't know this is what is going on the continent. How can we engage? And that's our role on the Pan-African Daily TV, keeping these projects and these conversations on a hot platform. I want to give a very important announcement, and maybe Dr. Tony Jaja, you can just say something about it very shortly for the audience. We have another heated debate tomorrow coming up on topic racism and the role of civility. You're aware of them, and our speakers for tomorrow is going to be Sir Clyde Rivers from the Global Civility Leader and iChange Nations, and Professor Bernard A. Joseph from iChange Global Nations and Business Statement, founder and of Productive Business Civility. These are the steps that is just supporting the vision of Marcus Garvey. In what format, what can we expect of how this topic of racism and the role of civility is going to impact the development of Africa? Ambassador Jaja?
Yeah, I think the two gentlemen that you are bringing them tomorrow to the audience to speak. Professor Clyde Rivers, River is the founder of the iChange Nation, and he is a global leader for the civility. And they have found what is called civility for all now, for this racial that is happening for the African and the rest. And tomorrow they will be talking about the races and the role of the civility, because this is what is needed for the world to come together and to embrace human rights and unity and love for the countries, because they have been doing it everywhere in this world. Especially Professor Clyde Rivers has been traveling in Africa. He has gone to West Africa, all over the world, and Caribbean. So he has that experience that he is going to share tomorrow to speak to the African community worldwide and to listen a very powerful message about the racists, because they are even fighting for the injustice in the continent and even in America. They are standing for that gap. And this is what we want to hear and the audience to hear tomorrow, because there is a lot of gap and there's wounds that need to be healed.
Correct.
Especially what we have with our brothers and sisters in America, in Caribbean and other places like Australia and New Zealand. They have been going through a lot of pains, and this is what's really need to be fixed by encouraging that people to stand for the right and justice. And that's what there was a video, a small video I sent to Professor Clariva. I say, see these children, they are 2 years, 3 years, and they are carrying their logos and they are saying no justice, no peace. These small children. And I was wondering, I say, these children cannot just say it without meaning. There is a meaning on it. And this is making things that Africa is rising. The Black life is really matter, as other life is matter, but Black life is matter because we have been suffering and we have felt the pain of our people.
Okay.
If the 2 million has not reached the destination since they stole them from Africa, who's going to do the reparation for that? Is America going to do that? Or Belgium? Or the Portuguese? Or the French people? 2 million, we lost them. 2 million is a big population, not a small population. And those who have reached their destination in America and other places, they have been scattered all over.
Correct.
They have even suffer and suffer and suffer. We have seen those images now, they has come back to the life and people are seeing it. And that's why nobody is going to shut his mouth or to be silent. Everybody is going to involve for this issue to be solved and for good. And that is the liberation of the Black humankind in this world.
Correct. Thank you so much. I had to ask you because I've seen you on their program, the I Change program. That's why I connected you to this. But we're really honored to have these incredible brothers out there, just like our brother Myla Jr., because these are the connections we're talking about. We cannot just say we need to unite without bringing our brothers here, without hearing from them. And now even for us African people, educating ourselves about what they have been through and what they are still going through. Because even our narratives regarding our brothers out there have also not been positive because we are miseducated. And so what we've been seeing is that they, our brothers out there, they would show you movies where they kill each other. Yes, of course, those things are happening in the community, but it comes from somewhere. It starts from somewhere. And we on the continent need this kind of education to be able to connect ourselves, because we're so disconnected that the ones on the continent don't see themselves, like we are brothers. And that's why we're very grateful to have you here, Myla Jr. And I would want to go back again to this concept of Marcus Garvey, because that's what we should be singing. That's what all our children should be talking about every literature books. The churches should be preaching on that. That should be the new religion of Pan-Africanism and African unity, and from us to us. And we want to see that start happening now and at this moment. How are we going to get that? We're just talking about, even just talking about it again. General,
I couldn't hear what the last thing you said.
okay.
But the thing that we have.
I was saying that now is the time that even as we're putting these structures in the background, we need to start putting an anthem out there. It means all the families in the homes, even we're talking about the repatriation, there should be some kind of education of the past. I know you all out there, you have it on the repatriation program, for instance, on the continent. Has there been anything like a connection like Ghana that you're talking about? We know that there was the year of returnee. Did they just go to visit and come back?
No, a lot of people went and visited and came back, but we understand and know that everybody's not going to go to Africa and stay. But
Correct.
and Marcus Garvey said that there are good white people and bad white people. There are good blacks and bad blacks, and all of them not going to go back. So those who can go back and enhance it, those are the ones we want to go back. But on the same token, we also want to reach out to our youth. That's the most important thing. As we move forward with the UNIA, because it's important and the organization is important. We need young people of all categories. We want you to come in, bring your ideas and thoughts, blend those ideas and thoughts with your old ideas and thoughts, and let's create a new product, a new way of looking at how we need to approach the 21st century in terms of creating a better environment for us as a people in the African continent as well as abroad. Anywhere we are, we need to be able to create a better environment for us as a people. And so we're looking at that possibility of doing that, inviting the young people to come in because we're putting programs back in place. I said about the education components, but we're also putting the Black Cross Nursing Corps back in place. We're going to actually put the African Community League, the business arm of the organization, because if we had the Black Cross up and running like it was back in the day, then when things happen, catastrophes or whatever happens, and even this situation we're having right now with this pandemic we're going through, we could have our own Black Cross nurses to go in and help our people as well as other people, but primarily because we're the ones getting the short end of the stick. We're the ones that the attention is not being paid to, or we're the ones that are losing the most out of our race of people. So we need to put those things back in place so we can have more control over what happens to us in our lives. We need to have more Black doctors and lawyers and whatever to put things in place. Of politicians, only if those politicians are in place and they're doing what needs to be done and understand the mission and plot of us as a race of people. Because even if we have people of our race that are not doing being bought out, we need to take them out too. And we don't want people to come in just to hold a title or position. We want people who want to come in and work and do the work, not talk about it, but do the work. Too many people are sitting back talking about it and giving you all the ideas and thoughts about what we should do, but don't want to roll up their sleeves to go in and do some of the lifting, the heavy work and stuff. Those are the type people we're looking for. Those are the type people who can come back into this organization and help us move forward as a people to make sure that change that we need as a people to survive and to move forward and to cut down some of the problems that we actually have is there. And that starts with the young people. So we invite young people to come in, be a part. Don't just talk about it. Your forefathers, your great grandfathers and great grandmothers, they paid a price. Do we want to let that go to waste, the price they paid? No, we want to build upon it. And that's what we're looking. And in our generation, we're taking to one level. You are the future. You're the ones that are going to take to the next level. And the only way we're going to get it that way is to educate and teach and train them and let them take leadership roles and stuff right now. And that starts from the younger person all the way up to the to the older person. I always say that everybody's a role model. So if you look at your youngest kid and they got a cousin or sister and brother, they're looking at it and they're imitating and they're trying to do the things that they do. So if we train and educate our kids and show them the right things to do, they're gonna move forward as adults and continue to do the right things. So those are the things that we need to look at and think about when we talk about as a race of people and making ourselves better, because we're only as good as what we pass back and what was passed to us to our youth.
That's excellent. I just have a comment and a question out there, but I'll be opening the lines right now, ladies and gentlemen. And we're going to be taking your questions or contribution for today's audience. And today, after we get a short break, and yeah, so our lines are going to be open. If you have a question or you have a suggestion or where to contact or what is need to be done, you can call and address your question after the break. Good. So yes, like I said, the lines are open. You have a number rolling out there. If you want to, if you have a suggestion or question or a contribution or a contact a point, let us know. Let us know what your impressions for today are on this topic: Africa for Africans at home and abroad. A lot of people asking, how can I contribute? How can I get in contact with the organization? How can we reach you? What is it that you want us to do? Brother Myla, I see questions out there like, what is it that you want them to do? Action now. How can they contact you? How can they reach you?
Yes, they can go to a website. It's www.THEUNIA-ACL. And they have a phone.
I would drop the link. I would drop the link rolling on our text. And anybody that is interested to work, we already know that there's a foundation out there, an sorry, oh my God, an organization out there. And yes.
And so once they do that, they can get in contact with us, and whatever abilities that they have or whatever they want to do, if they want to start a chapter or division in that area, on that website there's information and stuff that can guide them to what they need to do, or get in contact with us, and we can work with them from that standpoint.
Okay. So thank you very much.
But answer your question, we need people in all areas, young people, from a technology, computer, all the things, anything that you can bring to the organization, we appreciate it. We want it. And we want young people more than anything else. Not that we don't want old, but we want young people.
Correct. I think, yes, that's the point. And Sam, you got it. And you're ready. You said we are ready. And we would need all the information to join and support. I want to thank you for coming. It has been educative. It has been the first contact relating to you, comrade, and we would always like to have you here as the progress goes on. It means when there is a new thing or a new project or new information that you deem that is necessary for us to pass it out there on the movement and how the progress is going on, please do not forget, we're going to come back to you for these conversations to continue. So I want to thank you for being here. To you, our ambassador, it's always been a pleasure. You're the voice out there on the continent, just like Comrade Myla is the voice there in the diaspora, we say so. You're the young leadership of the young, I call it particularly the young leadership that the continent and young people are orientating to, and that they want to see this happen. We want to thank you so much for being this voice out here, for encouraging us, and the more you give us the steps and the way forward, the more we are engaging. So I would like to get one last word from both of you before we leave, because we're closing in just 5 minutes, in 9-10 minutes. The show today is 1.5 hours because of the periods the schools are reopening. Children need to go to bed earlier, and we wanted to keep this conversation going in any case. So over to you, Ambassador Jaja. I'm starting with you.
Yeah, I just want to thank you, Susan, and then give a vote of thanks to General Mela Jr. for giving time to come and educate people and share the vision, and the torch is still flaming. So the vision is still alive, and this is the kind of things that we want to see uh, to work together and to bring our support, what we can do as people in the continent, and with the African Union or all the region blocks like SADC and others in East Africa community or ECOWAS or Central Africa. So we are going to work and to push the agenda of the organization and the Exodus Alliance and others, as we still planning to have a forum next year, 2021, where we will come together as Pan-Africans. And many people who don't know, the idea of Pan-African came from Marcus Garvey himself, who have started 100 years ago. And we don't want to waste these 100 years for no progress. And this is the time that we have to push everything and to encourage our young people, our audience, those who are watching us or listening. The answers are there. And as I said before, nobody will bring solution to Africa except African solution is for African people.
Correct.
And we have to work together. We have to encourage ourselves, and we have to encourage our leaders. I know some of them, they are so fearful from the West because the West has put their knee on their necks and they don't know how to breathe. But we will make them to breathe. We will make them to see the light, and we will make Africa to be better, and not to be great, but to be greater, because the blueprint is in our hands and it's in our heart and it's our mind. We are going to change everything. You just to be strong wherever you are, be positive. And this is the message that we should take to our communities, whether in diaspora or those in the continent here, is to have unity. And we're still pushing the United States of Africa that will be established one day. But let us unite first in our ideas. Let us have a new dogma where we can build our empire as African continent, and we are going to make it. This is my encouragement. Thank you, Susan.
Correct. Thank you. Thank you so much for being with us. Yes, our brother Clovis Myla Jr., a word.
Yes, Susan, thank you again. I want to say that it's been an honor and pleasure for me to be here today with you all. And I look forward to coming back and talking again as well. And what I would like to say also is that many organizations out there that are looking to do something, and they're using the Honorable Marcus Garvey and the UNIA's plan. It would be good for people to come in and be a part of the organization, not create another organization, but come in and build on the legacy with your ideas and thoughts, because it's there. It's been 100 years there. And yes, some of the things need to change up to today's time, but with your expertise, with your willingness, and you want to do it, then we can send it to the next level. We can do the things that the Honorable Marcus Garvey said and did back in the day, but we can even make it even greater and better. And again, we're looking for you young people out there. Come in, be a part. That's important. We want you to get involved in history as well as the future. And I can't say it enough, is that we need you. And so if we can do that and work together and understand and know that there's a process in place, and the UNIA is not going anywhere. It's been around over 100 years, and we want to see it over into eternity, if possible. But it only is going to be as good as the people who come in and help us make it better. So we're looking for you to come in and help it make it better. And we realize that one organization can't do it all. And we extend that olive branch to actually work with other organizations. And if we put our minds and thoughts and stuff together, then we can get it done. One of the things that we're also working on, too, is a post-colonial economic conference on the continent of Africa and one of the African continents. And where we can bring all our people together and sit down and go over the ideas and thoughts about what we can actually do to make it better. And we want to do that in the year 2021 or 2022. And that's how we move forward. That's how we get things done. And that's how it makes the whole world, make us as a people better. Thank you.
Good. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure having you, and we wish to see you anytime soon on news and development from the continent and in the diaspora. Thank you.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Thank you, Susan. Thank you.
Thank you. To you, our audience, I want to thank you so very much also for being here. And we have seen and we have noticed and we have heard from the elders. We've been hearing Dr. Tony Jaja calling out, and we've been hearing all our guests coming always, yes, to educate us, to mentor us on this. Now the ball is in our hands. It is for us now, you know, to take this as a challenge and engage. Now, we have been complaining also, we the young people. I'm not in your generation of a young person, but there's been a lot of complaint to that. From our own part, we've been, oh, the leaders are this, the leaders don't give us the chance. Now the leaders of the 21st century are coming up and they're saying, this is what we can do together. We can bring our know-how together. We can collaborate. We can work together. We need to roll up our sleeves. We need to go to work. We need to go to work. Now we're going to be bringing also young audience here and to question you on your readiness. Are you just also a young African diaspora and those on the continent, a young generation that is just going to spend time complaining that they're not given opportunities? What about you seize those opportunities and make something useful out of it? We want to encourage you to come up with projects. We want to encourage you to think differently, think out of the box. I mean, sometimes we need also to not just be so patient and so docile like they say we are. We need to wake up and take our positions. And if the position is not a legal one, let us work. Let us go back to where nobody's going to put a foot on our neck. Let us go back and develop our communities. Let us go back into agriculture. Let us put our resources together. Now, we need to be smart. We need to be smart to outperform the system on the continent. And as you heard from our guest speakers, we are the smart generation. What does the smart generation do? The smart generation don't just sit and complain. They outperform the system. So we're going to say there is a generation that is saying that we're done with this kind of leadership. Now we can do it on our own, even without leadership. There are always ways that we can think. But we've been taught as a people to be led. Of course, governments exist. I don't disagree either. But then what is it that we can do independent of them to change our lives, to unite Africa? What is it that you as an African can do in your small corner That is not going to be, you're not going to get bottlenecks from the government. We're talking about grouping ourselves. We're talking about putting our resources together. No government is going to stop us. They're not going to stop you from coming together, from having these discussions. Nobody is going to stop us. So, but what is stopping us from doing that? Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for being here, because it's a platform from us to us, where we have these conversations, where we educate ourselves, where we sensitize ourselves on what we can do without the complaints. What is it there that is still left for us to do, to exploit to our own benefit? Because we're the ones suffering. We're the ones laboring. We're the ones that are being killed. We're the ones that poverty resembles us. We're the female, the women particularly, that has a poverty face. You see it on every placard. It's going to be an African woman or a child. Always these two a target are the ones that are being bulleted by the world, be it the main world, be it no one has ever respected the place of the African mother to give us a seat. But now we're going to take that seat by ourselves, come together, do our things together, work together, move and change our continent and our lives together. We can do it. And honestly, it's not about a matter of money only. It is the will and the ability for us to sacrifice a lot. When we organize events, be there. When we're holding conversations like that, be there. Most of us, we like where there's quarrel and argument and lies, then we're going to be flooding that internet or laughing and doing things. And you ask yourself most of the time, yes, of course, we're a continent of music and dance and everything, but is that all what we're all about? When we're talking serious and having serious conversations, people are not interested, but we want African to move. How? How that? When our energy is focused on things that actually keeps us where we've been in the past 100 years, and we keep doing the same dogma, like we're saying, we keep following the same systems. Now it's time for us to just change and think and say, we've been doing this, it's not been working. Can we start over and do something new? Can we just do something new? On this note, I want to thank you. I want to celebrate you for being here. Marvin, I see you, and you're asking for the contact of Ambassador Jaja. Yes, I see you, Queen Olivia. Thank you so very much for being here this evening. And I want to say tomorrow's topic is also be cracking and educating. Hey, there is no other platform where you want to be every evening without being on the Pan-African Daily TV, because every 2 hours or 1 hour you sit here to listen. It's not just to watch, but you learn a lot. You learn a lot. And I want to thank all those of you that have been sending positive feedbacks, how this program has impacted their life, how it has changed their way of looking at themselves, how it has given them pride to be an African. I want to thank you so very much. Those are the kind of feedbacks when we hear from the Pan-African Daily TV, we're ready to engage more, because we know that we're not wasting our time. We also been having a lot of people asking a lot of questions. When are we finally going to have our own platform? Because we don't want to be exchanging our data in the hands of people we don't know. Yes, I want us to guarantee you and assure you that, like I said yesterday, the systems are slowing down because the 21st, 22nd century of the continent is going global and digital. And so even the world is curating its systems, and so systems are slow. But as a matter of fact, we would be launching this platform in the Pan-African Daily TV homepage, where you can get all the programs of the month, where you can watch all the videos in case you miss a show. You're going to get connected, where you can subscribe to YouTube, and also where we're going to be streaming not only from this source, but from other sources that we don't want to exclude or we don't want to share with you here right now. Yes. So tomorrow's topic is going to be about racism and the role of civility. You already heard two great brothers from America, celebrities and top stars that have been talking out there. But now they want to talk to you Africans. They want to talk to us, the Africans on the continent, and also those in other parts of the diaspora, because we're connecting all this world here on the Pan-African Daily TV. So they're going to be here same time. Don't miss it. Then we're also going to have interesting topics from now on to Sunday. But the one of Sunday is what I really want to encourage you and talk about. We're going to start a series on the Pan-African Daily TV called The African Church. Now, I don't want to unveil what that is, but it's going to also be a 2 hours conversation with guest speakers and preachers and on motivation in telling us what is the meaning of African church. How should we Africans worship? What is it that has made Africa the biggest continent with 90% Christians, but nothing is changing on the continent? Who are we praying to? What is the message that these pastors have been putting out there on the podium and in their churches that has never maybe created a general community impact? Is the message the problem? Is it the word that is the problem? Is it us Africans that hear and don't practice the faith? These are all conversations that we're going to be having every Sunday on the topic, the African church. It is going to be alarming. It is going to be booming because this African church has no denomination. It's not going to be for Muslims. It's not going to be for Christians. It's not going to be for artists. It's not going to be for African spirituality. It's a combination of what faith and action means. So I don't know what it's going to be about. I'm just the host, but I know a partner on this project is the famous Joshua Maponga. You know him so very much. And he has this theological background, growing up as a son on the continent from a royal family and a Christian home, studied the world, been around the world, and coming back to say there is one thing that Africans have not understood about God and faith and worship. This is going to be game changing. And then we're also going to have another brother. He's called Brother Fred, and he's Ghanaian in the UK. He's also been writing a lot of books on how he thinks the New Day church on the continent is bringing more harm than to build the Christians. It's all about the pulpit and private jet and not about the focus on the message for some churches. So how is it that we can go back to the way of worship? What is the right way when you hear the African church? What are the characteristics? What are the rituals that all these churches have been performing and bringing a whole of calamity and putting some kind of senseless hope in young people? And what is it that has really blasphemed religion and politics, and that has also caused a lot of setback on the unity of Africa and on the progress of Africa? We can never run away from these topics because sometimes we shy away and we are afraid. No, we're going to address it because religion is one of the problems, as I can say, that people are asking a lot of questions. Why is it that Africa is a prayerful nation? People are saying churches are full every Sunday. People are really living what the Bible is telling us to live. But as a matter of fact, it is still the poorest country. Is the God of Africa not listening, or what gods are we praying to? So this is going to be very important topic in a series that we'll be bringing on the Pan-African Daily TV every Sunday. We're going to make sure that it doesn't coincide with your daily church worship programs, so much so that you can benefit the knowledge and education from both sides to help you and your way forward in your life. It is all about us. It is all about empowering us. It's all about educating us. Yes, it is very interesting to hear about this new African church theology that is coming up from this prophet or from this game changer. And everybody, as I hear, is going to be a part all over the world. If you want a word, you want a sermon, or you want what, I don't really know, but the concept is mind-blowing, and we've been working on it to make it a permanent Sunday program on the Pan-African Daily TV. Good. So apart from that, I want to just not end up without reminding you about the PLO Lumumba Foundation conference that is coming up on the 27th of June. Now we're just close to it. Registrations have been going on. We've had the first team that came on, and this week, not tomorrow, on Friday, we're going to have a correspondent from the PLO Lumumba Foundation, and this time women. And this time women are going to be telling us the progress of this conference, how far they have gone. And also to inform you, just maybe. The Diaspora Coordinator Program for the PLO Lumumba Foundation is currently going on. What does that mean? If you're interested in representing, in being a coordinator in your respective countries in the diaspora, please contact us for more information how you can join. Approximately now, we are already having representatives in Australia, and we're also having in Belgium, in Germany presently, also in the UK, and Norway, and so we're still looking out other countries in the diaspora. We want coordinators of the PLO Lumumba Foundation. Particularly, it's not only going to be focused on the programs of the PLO Lumumba Foundation. Now you also hear about the Marcus Garvey Foundation coming up. We know about also the ADDI of Dr. Arikana coming up, and also Joshua Maponga, and all this is coordinated. It's coordinated by our organization called the Africa We Want nonprofit self-independence organization, registered and based in Germany, Europe. So if you want to get a contact and you have an organization that is Pan-African and you want us to merge it under this this umbrella, not to disengage yourself, please contact us for more information. So I want to thank you. We would be having our guest for tomorrow. And don't forget about Sunday's program. On Friday, we're going to have speakers from the PLO Lumumba Foundation. On Saturday, this is very good news. On Saturday, we're going to be having a correspondent from Southern Cameroon, Amazonia, and he's going to be lecturing us on what is going on in Southern Cameroon. A lot of you know, a lot of you don't know the conflict that has been existing. The youngest conflict on the continent of Africa is the Amazonian conflict in Southern Cameroon, and there's going to be a correspondent, an expert on this topic that is going to educate us, because like we are saying, a problem in one country of Africa is the problem of the whole of Africa. We're also going to be having a correspondent from Australia to talk about the violence, domestic violence in our own African families worldwide. And this expert is also going to tell us about reforms in Australia concerning our brothers out there, the Aborigines. The Aborigines is something we need to know what is going out there with our people. And these are all programs that we would be coming up with you, but the guest speakers are already there. Why am I talking particularly about this domestic violence among us? We just heard and we know a lot of cases that have been going on, Black people killing themselves, killing their wives, committing suicide, like the recent case of our brother in the USA, a Cameroonian that shot himself and killed his wife and left behind 3 children. This is depressive. People, even we talk about the unity of Africa, we talk about the connection. What about us, our personal lives? We can build an Africa when we kill ourselves by ourselves. What is going on? What are the problems that we diasporans, African people, Black families are going through in pain, and that we can solve by ourselves until it comes to a point where we need to commit suicide? It is not done in the African mind. It is not a word, a vocabulary in the African context, suicide. We don't know that issues. But when we come out here in the diaspora, there are a lot of difficulties that we are going through as people, as family and children, and these things affect us to commit such illicit act. So we'll be having this correspondent, and watch out for the flyers coming up. And up to now, we want to thank you. Stay safe, stay blessed. God bless you, and take care of the children and the family, and love and trust one another until we get home. Thank you very much. God bless you. Bye-bye.